It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Good morning. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on this Tuesday, the 11th day of April, 2023. Coming to you from Central Virginia area, Bedford County, right outside of Lynchburg. Pretty exciting show today. Got quite a few news stories. The Italian Coast Guard rescues 1,200. A Royal Caribbean itinerary, completely different. Two stories out of Carnival Cruise Line. Princess has a new food venue. 93-year-old Medevaced from the Vista. An American Serenade passes its sea trials. That and a lot more here at 11 o'clock this morning. Today, folks, is National Cheese Fondue Day. I don't know if some of the big cities might still have fondue restaurants, but I think that's kind of a thing of the past, isn't it? First time I did fondue, that I actually did fondue myself, was in 1971, 70 or 71. And I was in college, and my first wife, Sarah, Jason's mother, and her roommate, and myself, and a bunch of other of the college students that put on concerts, had a concert with the Letterman. Some of you my age will remember the Letterman. Well, they came and the party was crashed by their fraternity on the University of Kentucky campus, which was Sigma Tau. I wasn't a fraternity guy, but they crashed the party. The thing that I remember the most about that party was that I served cheese fondue for the guests. And when it got crashed by an extra 100 people, I ran out of fondue real quickly. That's my, my experience with cheese fondue. I loved it. Did it several times over the years after that. Of course, I like the one with the hot oil, and you do the beef or pork or chicken or whatever, and dip it in sauces. I like that too. And then for a while there were fondue restaurants. I don't know. We don't have any in here in Lynchburg. Of course, I'm surprised we have a McDonald's. But that's I don't know if they still have them or not. Somebody put in the chat if there's still fondue restaurants around. If you're listening via the podcast, you're always welcome here. You can access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net. I did post a story this morning on the blog about my possible transition from a from a scooter to a power chair, and what that kind of means and what I'm looking at and some of the reasons that I'm thinking the way I'm thinking right now. Some of you, especially in the disabled community, might find that interesting, because those things are, those are major, I don't want to call it accomplishments. They're definitely major events for someone who has spent years on a scooter on cruise ships, that I may be changing that. And it might not all happen all at once. I may have a mixture of both going on for a while. That's yet to be determined. It's yet to be determined for sure if I'm going to do this. I'm still waiting to talk to Sylvia, my counterpart over at Will Power Chairs. So hopefully when I finish that conversation, I will make a determination on what's the best way for me to go. So anyway, back to you guys listening to the podcast. If you're listening via the podcast, you can always just search for Travel and Cruise Industry News wherever you get your podcast from, and up pops the fat guy. Anytime you're listening, if you want to hop over to the video feed, you can do just that. And the link to in the description of the podcast will take you right over to the video feed, and you can go back to your podcast. Mr. Bucket List, Justin and I will be doing another live stream on Friday evening for our folks on the upcoming hosted solo cruise on the Norwegian Joy, May the 1st. And we're inviting anyone else that is booked, whether you're solo or not, but especially if you're solo, that's booked on the Joy on the 1st to join us, or anyone that just may be interested in doing a hosted solo cruise sometime, or a hosted cruise that has, for two people as well. So, I mean, there are those that do both. My August cruise does both. But anyway, that's what we're going to do Friday night, 7 o'clock, my time. That's Eastern Daylight Time, which would be 6 o'clock Eastern Daylight Time for you guys in Central. You guys out west Mountain would be 5 o'clock. Out west would be 4 o'clock. So I had a little chat this morning with a lady from Toronto. Toronto or Montreal? Toronto, who may be interested in booking with us on the Alaska cruise. Some of our guests, folks, for the Alaska cruise, which is for solos and double occupancy as well, we still have cabins left. We still have the only 2 balconies left as well. The solo cabins start at $628 and go up from there. You have to, of course, add the taxes and port charges, which for that particular cruise run about $250. So Amigo John got an ocean view for $8, $9, $30, like $1,030 or something for an ocean view for an Alaska cruise. The 2 balconies, folks, I mean, I'm not telling you, I think they're expensive. But, I don't mind the fact that I'm not going to be in a balcony. Actually, I probably am going to be in a balcony, but that's neither here nor there. I've done Alaska before inside and did fine. I mean, when you go want to see things, you go outside. Or you sit in the dome area, which is a little warmer, and look out. But quite often we went outside, and there's pictures of both me and Justin and, bundled up to the nines when we were in Alaska because it was cold. I went up on Mount Roberts in Juneau, and it was sleeting and snowing up on top of the mountain. So, yeah, it was cold when I was there in May last year. But anyway, some of our guests are flying into Fairbanks and taking the train down from Fairbanks all the way to Whittier. That's what the train looks like up there, coming down through the glaciers and through Denali. That particular tour, if I'm not mistaken, we'll have to ask Nate, but if I'm not mistaken, that does an overnight in Denali and then on down to Whittier, and you get off the train right literally across the street from the cruise ship, and literally can walk right across the street and get on the Sapphire Princess. John and I will be joining that train in Anchorage. We are not doing the Fairbanks all the way down because he and I are going to spend a couple days pre-cruise in Anchorage doing some of the museums and some of the things that are accessible in Anchorage. Anchorage is supposed to be an extremely accessible city. So we're going to test that out. And then he and I will be doing the train on cruise day from Anchorage up to Whittier to get on the Sapphire Princess. I think we will be in a different car than those of you that will do the train from Fairbanks, but
a new station alert has arrived.
That's what we're going to do. So, and that's the map that's up there is the path that train takes, which is pretty awesome for those of you that want to do it. And you can go to the same link and just scroll on down and you'll find the train excursions in there as well as whale watching, flying up to the glaciers. What else is, of course, the going to Michelle Phillips for the Iditarod puppies and Iditarod dogs. It's her kennel. All of those, just keep scrolling on down on the website link. It's all there on the same website, and then you can go on into Nate's company to book those excursions should you want to do that, or to book the cruise. I mean, you can do that too. Solo and double occupancy are still available. And a couple balconies are available. So have at it. All right, I'll be back with today's news after this word from Scoot Around.
Do you have a bad back, bad hips, bad knees, or any other mobility issues? Think about Scoot Around. For scooters, walkers, wheelchairs, even oxygen needs, delivered right to your cabin. Scoot Around for all your mobility needs on your upcoming cruise.
And folks, just because I may be transitioning to a power wheelchair, in no way means that my feelings about Scoot Around have changed. I've been with them for a total of 9 years now. Admittedly, 3 years of that I missed out on cruising between the pandemic and my 2 bouts with cancer. However, they're the reason that I've been able to do what I can do. Because of my excessive weight, the scooters are relatively heavy. They're too heavy for me to get one in and out of a car. The lighter scooters that can do that, which I have one, is just not suitable for me on a cruise ship for everything I do on a cruise ship. And for going up and down gangways, for instance, or like the one ship that I did a tender and had to go down, a ramp to the lower level on the tender boat. That was, I could not have done that on a smaller scooter. The power wheelchairs are lighter in weight, so they can fold up and go in a tour bus in the luggage, for instance. Or if I'm using a cab or a van, they can fold up and go in the trunk, just like luggage does. They weigh 50 pounds without the batteries. So that's just like a cab driver putting a suitcase in for me. Only this is my wheelchair. I can walk a few steps, so I have that benefit that some of my disabled community do not have. So by being able to walk a little bit, I can get on. It's a struggle, but I can get on a bus, up 3 steps or whatever it is, as long as I can get in the front seat or one of the front couple seats. I can also, on an airplane, I can get up to the door of the plane and walk to my seat. Now, I couldn't do that if it was all the way in the back of a big plane, but I try to get seats as close to the front as I possibly can. This in no way should leave any negative feeling towards Scoot-Around, because I wouldn't be alive today if it wasn't for Scoot-Around. Just no, in my mind, no doubt about it, because cruising has kept me alive, and I couldn't cruise without Scoot-Around. So that's how strongly I feel about this company, folks. So if you have mobility challenges, by all means, contact them. They can help you out. All right. After a long-winded diatribe, I'll be back with today's news after a real quick break from one of my network sponsors. Top story this morning has to do with our friends over on the other side of the pond in Italy. The Italian Coast Guard reported yesterday it was carrying out a rescue operation involving 2 fishing boats with a total of 1,200 passengers on board, as the number of people attempting to cross the Mediterranean from North Africa surged over the weekend. One vessel carrying about 800 people was more than 120 miles southeast of the Sicilian city of Syracuse, the Coast Guard said. The other, with 400 people on board, is in the Ionian Sea off the coast of Calabria. Alarm Phone, a hotline service for migrants in distress at sea, said on Sunday that it had received a call from the second boat, which had set sail from Tobruk in Libya and was in Maltese waters. It said on Twitter that the boat had run out of fuel and was taking on water, with the passengers were trying to bail out. It reestablished contact with the boat overnight, with people reporting strong winds and high waves. The German NGO Sea-Watch International, which had located the second boat with one of its planes, said on Monday that the merchant ship had provided it with fuel and water, but alleged that Maltese authorities had issued an order not to rescue the passengers. Excuse me? The NGO tweeted that the boat was struggling in waves up to 5 feet. The Italian Coast Guard, which has rescued about 2,000 people since Friday, said the latest operation has been complicated by the difficult conditions. 26 boats arrived at the island of Lampedusa on Sunday with 974 on board, mostly from Gambia, the Ivory Coast, Guinea, and Burkina Faso. Our second story has to do with the boat I'm going to be on toward the end of next month. Guests sailing aboard Royal Caribbean's Liberty of the Seas are not taking the cruise they had originally planned due to inclement weather forecast for the Bahamas this week. Yesterday's departure of a 4-night Bahamas Perfect Day cruise was canceled has canceled both planned ports of call and substituted a visit to Labadie instead. And the ship will have 2 sea days instead of 1. All week weather forecasts for Nassau, the capital of the Bahamas, call for a high chance of rain and strong winds conditions that can make navigating the channel and docking at the pier, which allows to enjoy the port of call, most challenging. Similar conditions at Coco Cay, Royal Caribbean's Coco Cay, Royal Caribbean's private island, present similar hazards. Even if the weather may not seem severely dangerous, cruise ship captains must take into account the delicacy of coming alongside a pier without damaging the ship or the dock, or in case of tendering with small boats, whether the conditions will be too rough for the comfort and safety of the passengers. Several other ships may also be impacted by the same weather system. Royal Caribbean's Mariner of the Sea is scheduled into Coco Cay today and may be impacted by the same poor weather. Likewise, Norwegian Cruise Line's Getaway is scheduled for Great Stirrup Cay today, just 1.5 miles east of Coco Cay. Coco Cay, the Royal Caribbean improper pronunciation. On Thursday, April the 13th, that would be day after tomorrow, Liberty of the Seas was to have been joined by her sister ship, Freedom of the Seas, in Nassau, as well as Carnival Cruise Line's Carnival Dream. Both Freedom of the Seas and Carnival Dream may similarly be impacted by the poor weather. We have a couple stories from our friends over at Carnival. Carnival Cruise Line has quietly increased prices for cabana and beach villa rentals on its private island of Half Moon Cay. Guests booked on upcoming cruises who are planning their time ashore have noted dramatic increases in the recent months for both types of private beachside rentals. The rentals in question include beach villa and cabana rentals on Half Moon Cay, Carnival's private island destination in the Bahamas. The beach villa is a 2-story beachside retreat with unobstructed ocean views and a private sun deck. The air-conditioned rental has a 5-person hot tub, refrigerator, mist shower, and dining area. Snacks, water, and soda are included in the rental price, as well as water floating mats and snorkel gear. Up to 8 guests can share the villa for one excursion price. In comparison, the cabana rental is a similar option, able to accommodate only 4 guests and only 1 story rather than 2. Cabanas are still air conditioned and come with the same amenities: snacks, water, soda, water mats, and snorkel gear. Cabanas do not have any hot tubs. Currently, the price for the beach villa is listed at $999.99. Why can't he just say $100? While cabanas rent for $699.99. Both types of rental are for the whole day, and guests can come and go as they please. Previously, prices for the villa and the cabanas were dramatically lower. Late November 2022, $649 and $449. Going further back to January of 2022, $359 or $599 and $359. So that is a considerable increase. All right. Also from Carnival, Carnival Cruise Line brand ambassador John Heald has acknowledged the need for an overhaul in the line's loyalty program and asked for guest feedback about options. While no immediate changes are forthcoming, there are a variety of choices the cruise line might make to reward returning guests. Loyalty programs are a great attraction for frequent cruisers as they build up points, days, or other means of tracking their specific level of loyalty to earn exclusive benefits. Carnival Cruise Line's very important fun person, VIFP loyalty program, is based totally on days, with every day aboard earning guests more credit to advance to higher levels. The line's official ambassador, John Hield, recently acknowledged the possibility of changes coming to how loyalty credit may be accrued after being asked why only days and not type of stateroom or onboard spending earns loyalty. Guest response has been mixed, about half and half. So, not sure what Carnival will end up deciding. When you talk about loyalty, folks, and I've sailed enough that I have loyalty with a couple of cruise lines, and to me, the best loyalty program is Royal Caribbean for two reasons. Number one, if you're solo, as I am, you get double the points. In other words, if you're paying twice as much for the room, you get twice as much loyalty points. So that's clearly helped me get to Diamond quicker than I would on if I was, had a partner sailing. The other thing that I like about Royal Caribbean is, and I don't even go into all the other perks, but I get 5 drinks a day. That's enough alcohol for me on a cruise ship. Yes, I still get my Diet Coke package so I can drink Diet Cokes all the time. But 5 alcoholic beverages, I've done, half a dozen cruises now on Royal Caribbean since I was Diamond. And that is plenty enough booze. I don't think maybe one of the cruises when I was with JJ this summer, I actually bought a couple extra drinks because I was with them a lot in bars. But yeah, they're so, man, I'd love it if all the Carnival's got to do to give for my loyalty, and I'm not near as loyal as I used to be, but I still sell Carnival. Give me 4 or 5 drinks a day, and I'm perfectly good. I wouldn't mind having a discount on Wi-Fi or something like that. But yeah, that's cool with me. I do recommend it because solo cruisers are a growing segment in the cruise industry. I do recommend anybody that's looking at loyalty programs put that in for the solo guys. All right, speaking of another company that is owned by the folks at Carnival, and it happens to be the company that I should be on right now with Kevin. That's Princess. I was supposed to be on the Caribbean Princess right now. But Princess Cruises has just introduced a fresh and tasty culinary concept on board the Enchanted Princess in collaboration with renowned chef Rudy Soderman, which will be named The Catch by Rudy. Italian eateries, handmade gelato, the Salty Dog Cafe, plus a complimentary Irish pub will also number among some of the ship's new dining venues and enhancements. After making its debut on the Enchanted Princess, Rudy's latest culinary venture, The Catch by Rudy, which will be taking place on Bistro sur la Mer, will soon be introduced on 3 more Princess cruise ships, the Majestic Princess, Sky Princess, and Discovery Princess. As the head of culinary arts for Princess Cruises and the author of 4 cookbooks, Chef Rudy from Austria has garnered numerous accolades for his outstanding culinary skills over the decades. With a unique focus on seafood, The Catch by Rudy will offer gourmands fresh ocean catches with an innovative approach to fine seafood dining. Crew and guests will fish off the end of the boat to keep the restaurant stocked with fresh seafood. It's simple. And no, before hate people start giving me grief over that one, I'm not serious. You're not going to sit on the back of the boat and reel them in so Rudy has something to cook for you. It's not going to happen. I was yanking your chain. Carnival Vista, in an unfortunate turn of events, a 93-year-old woman on the Vista cruise ship had to be evacuated and taken to a local hospital in Galveston. That goes all the way back to Sunday now. The Coast Guard sector, Houston Galveston, was alerted about a situation about 10 o'clock Sunday night when the woman began experiencing symptoms of respiratory failure, pneumonia, and septic shock. After consultation with duty flight surgeon, a medevac was deemed necessary. And the Coast Guard Air Station, Houston, Dolphin helicopter crew was deployed. The crew promptly arrived on the Carnival ship and transported the passenger along with one of the cruise ship nurses to the University of Texas Medical Branch in Galveston. The most recent report of the woman's condition is that she is stable. And finally this morning, this would be the new ship, American Serenade. And it was announced last week that Serenade had passed its sea trials and is scheduled for her inaugural season exploring the Mississippi River. Serenade ship features 5 decks and 91 staterooms, all step-out balconies, including suite studios, single occupancy cabins. The boat's interior design incorporates a stunning use of glass, providing unparalleled views throughout the ship. Like the sister ships, American Serenade boasts American Cruise Line's patented opening bow with a retractable gangway, as well as an open-air 5th deck skywalk with an ellipse that cantilevers dramatically over the cafe below. There's also just one handicap accessible cabin on the Serenade, as well as the other American ships. And yes, I would jump at the chance in a heartbeat to get on one of their cruises and prove to the disabled community that you can sail on river cruises now. And yes, they're expensive compared to what we pay for cruises on the ocean vessels, which have thousands of people, not 91 staterooms. So, that would be like maybe 180 people. Quite a difference. All right, that's the last news story for today. So let's jump over and see if anybody's given me any grief in the chat room. Mike's with us. Hey, Mike. Hot Air Tom is here. Wants to know where Yo-Yo is. I don't know. I haven't looked down this yet. Carol's with us. Hi, Carol. Coming from Regal Princess, sailing to Puerto Rico. All right, Carol, glad to see you back on a ship. Sonny's with us. Says hi to everybody. There's Melissa. Good morning. Sending hugs to everybody. Thank you, Melissa. Melissa's out in Arizona. Not too long until she's getting on another cruise ship, too. It's Cruise Life is with us. Good morning. Nikki's here. Nikki down in Jacksonville. There's Yo Brooklyn in the house. Eddie says good morning to everybody. Melissa saying good morning back to Eddie. Joanne is with us. Love the royal perks. Yeah, that's been really good to me. Now I understand that Princess has some good perks, but I'm not at perk level on Princess. So it's a possibility if I ever get rolling with Princess, I'll stick with them over a good period of time so I get up there. But we'll see. How many Royal Cruises do you need to achieve 4 or 5 alcoholic drinks a day? Well, it was 80 points for me, and you get 1 point per day. However, if you're traveling solo like I did, you get 2 points a day. So that took me 40 nights on a ship. Or like if they're on 7-night cruise, if they're all 7-night cruises, and mine weren't, but if they're all 7-night cruises, that means your 7th cruise ship, you get all your drinks paid for. 6 nights, 6 cruises, 6 7s are 42. Yeah, 6 cruises, and then the next one, all your drinks are paid for. I mean, that's not a bad deal. I didn't think. So, and yeah, there are other perks. I get excuse my French. I get crap delivered to the cabin. Cookies, strawberries, and there's some discounts involved. I usually don't do the expedited getting on and getting off. I could care less. Usually I can't because of having to have the wheelchair service on and off. That may be changing, but we'll see. Anyway, so you got to figure if you do, I did a mixture of shorts and longs because, like, when I was with JJ last summer, was that before? No, that was before. I had already gotten Diamond by then. So because I was Diamond, that was a 4-night and a 3-night, or was it a 4-night and a 4-night? 7 or maybe, I don't know. It was split. We had to get off the boat and get back on the boat, which is a waste, but that we had to do it. At any rate, yeah, it was. Royal's been really, really, really good to me for what's important to me on cruise ships. Having a couple of adult beverages to me is the best thing you can do. I hate drinks packages. You pay too much money. Although on my Princess cruise coming up May the 1st, on my August cruise on the 28th, which is Princess. I'm on Norwegian May the 1st. My Princess cruise to Alaska, I do have the drinks package included, but they have a package for everything. Drinks, Wi-Fi, specialty dining, everything. And it's like $62 a day. Well, I look at it virtually the same way. If I have 4 drinks a day at $10 a drink, that's $40. At $20 a day for Wi-Fi, that's $60. Duh. I'm ahead of the game. So that's what I'm doing on that Princess cruise. I'll see how that works out. And also, there's a good possibility that, which I'd hope to do on Princess right now, although I've been on Caribbean Princess, that I might play a little in the casino and get casino offers. Kevin gets a lot of casino offers from Princess. Free, totally freebies. He pays taxes and port charges for a lot of his cruises. So, Just throw that out, folks. If you got to throw in a little money that you can count on losing, because you can't count on winning. And if you win, that's just, that's great. Gretchen's with us. She's up in Ohio. Kenneth's here from Pennsylvania. Cooking my own seafood at the moment, but I don't dive for the scallops. Well, I can appreciate that. I don't dive for scallops anymore either, but I sure like to eat them. I think it would be cool to fish off the back of a boat. I'd give Rudy my catch. He could cook whatever I catch in his restaurant. That would be cool. Melissa says 46 days until the JJ group cruise. Today is check-in day, so I'm really excited. That's always a good time. You can start heading toward the cruise ship now when you get to where you can do the check-in. That's always an exciting first. I agree with you, Melissa. And I wish I was going to be with you guys on that cruise, but I'm not going to make the group cruise this year with everything else I've got booked. So anyway, that's going to wrap me up, guys, for today. I will be back tomorrow. Same time, same channel for more of this silliness with the Wednesday travel and cruise industry news. And who knows what else? Maybe I'll find some pictures from our friends on cruises. I haven't done that for a while. That's a possibility. I need to do a little checking on everybody. So that's going to wrap me up. Again, guys, as always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry, so if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.